Well, just till about a couple of hours ago, it was the curious case of a very silent governor of the state of Jharkhand. But finally, the governor, viewers, has called Champai Soren, who says that he has a majority in place with the support of his MLAs, 49 of them, where the JMM-led coalition in Jharkhand is concerned. Will he now be invited to form government? That's the big story. Champai Soren right now inside the governor's residence. We're going to continue to get you more. That's our top focus, but let me take you through the headlines first. After Hemant Soren's arrest, Champai Soren stakes claim to form the next Jharkhand government. Governor meets with Champai. Will he be invited to form government? That's the big question. Former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren produced in the PMLA court in Ranchi, sent to one-day judicial custody after being arrested by the ED in the land scam case. Puja rituals begin in the basement of the Gyanwati Mosque. Daily 5 aartis to be held. Muslim side moves Varanasi court again. Seeks stay on puja rituals at mosque complex. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announces no change in direct or indirect taxes in this year's interim budget. Corporate tax reduced to 20% while tax slab rates remain unchanged. European farmers gherao the EU Parliament. Tractors and farmers take to the streets across France, Germany, Brussels, Italy to demand better pay and incentives. Another Indian student has been found dead in Cincinnati, United States. This is the third death of an Indian student in the US in just a week's time. All right, let's quickly cut across to the latest news break that is coming in. He was invited to speak to the governor, Mr. Champai Soren, who has been nominated to take the place of Hemant Soren as the head of the JMM as well as the chief minister of the state of Jharkhand. Has now just left a short while ago the governor's house. The JMM plus Congress, RLD plus CPI, MLAs released the video of 43 MLAs in support of Champai Soren, all present in the circuit house in Ranchi. Important to note, Basant Soren, Hemant Soren's younger brother, is also present in that video. Champai Soren says it's been 22 hours since we have claimed majority to form government. Governor says we'll take decision soon. So not yet invited. 24 hours, even though Champai Soren says he has a majority. That video being released, what you can see, 43 MLAs, their signatures involved, all of that taken to the governor. Yet Champai Soren has not been invited to form the government. What is it that is stopping the governor is the big question, viewers. Champai Soren just left the residence of the governor a short while ago. Listen in to Champai Soren.
हम लोग ने कहा कि काल हम लोग 8 साढ़े 8 बजे हम लोग दिया है, नया सरकार गठन करने के लिए दावा पेश किया है। आज अभी 20-22 घंटा भी हो गया, इसको गठन करने का प्रयास आरंभ किया जाए।
All right, so that's the big news that is coming in. The governor has met Champai Soren, who's taken a video as well as a letter with signatures of 43 MLAs, which is well above the halfway mark. The strength of the Jharkhand Assembly, viewer, stands at 81. 43 is above the halfway mark. 49 has been the strength of the JMM plus the coalition, which is 16 MPs, 29 of the JMM, 1 each of the RJD, the NCP and the left, and there are certain independents as well, where the coalition is concerned. However, let's play that reaction again of Champai Soren, who just walked out of the governor's residence along with his delegation of 5 representing each of the parties that are in coalition. He's still not been invited to form government. What did Champai Soren say? Let's listen in and we go across to Anupam Mishra as well as Shreya Chatterjee.
हमने कहा, हम लोग ने कहा कि काल हम लोग 8 साढ़े 8 बजे हम लोग दिया है, नया सरकार गठन करने के लिए दावा पेश किया है। अरे भी 20-22 घंटा भी हो गया, इसको गठन करने का प्रयोग आरंभ किया जाए।
चंपाई जी मौजूदा, चंपाई जी।
The curious case of Jharkhand politics, viewers, has only got a little bit more interesting there. Shreya Chatterjee joining us, Anupam Mishra. Shreya Chatterjee, despite a video, despite signatures of 43 MLAs, the governor still says he's going to let them know of the decision. Champai Soren has not been invited yet by the governor to stake claim and form government.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. There's not much clarity on the reason why the governor is delaying in the case of Jharkhand, because we literally have seen the video that has also been shared by the JMM sources before the media, literally roll calling one by one, suggesting 43 MLAs are present in this particular circuit house where I'm standing since morning. Remember, there's an entire saga playing out. There's a charter on standby if at all there is further delay to ensure no possible defections. But now they have ensured to put a video so that all the rumors can be put to rest. Two things that I will say, Preeti. One, that there were rumors doing around that 43 MLAs are not there. They are not supporting Champai Soren. That rumor has been put to rest. Second rumor of Hemant Soren not in support of Champai Soren, that is also put to rest. Hemant Soren is the brother of Hemant Soren. You can very well see him in the video. So somewhere down the line, that video gives a lot of clarity. Only now we can wait for the governor to decide when he actually wants to give them time so that they can come and form their government.
What is it? You know, it's a little confusing with what's going on right now in the state of Jharkhand, Anupam Mishra. Earlier on, there were indications that the entire group of MLAs were not together. The BJP kept trying to push that theory, suggesting that there were only 35 MLAs. But with this video right now, which has been taken in the circuit house 30 minutes ago, 43 MLAs can be seen. Signatures of these MLAs are with Champai Soren, who's even offered to parade them in front of the governor. Yet the governor till now has not asked Champai Soren to stake claim.
Well, Preeti, it's very unusual political situation prevailing in Jharkhand at present, and political unrest is going on for the past almost 24 hours, that there is no government in Jharkhand. And this is very unusual political situation here. And I'm waiting at airport where one charter plane is waiting to take off the coalition MLAs to other state. But things are not clear yet. Champai Soren has met the governor, but governor has not stated, not called, not invited Champai Soren. So the ball is in governor's hand. But it's not clear that why governor is not calling Champai Soren. And
demand. Anupam, stay with me. Anupam and Shreya, I urge you to stay on with me. Because right now, protocol would demand that the governor, because the JMM said they've had the numbers, they are the party which is ruling right now. They have gone ahead with the numbers, with a video to the governor. Protocol would suggest, but is this unconstitutional? Not quite. We're going to get in a constitutional at some point of time during the show to get in an understanding of what's really going on, where the crisis in Jharkhand is concerned. So it might not be unconstitutional, viewers, but is it immoral? Many would suggest yes, because it is the duty of the governor now to call in the JMM headed by Champai Soren to stake claim. And then it will depend on the floor strength and floor test to prove where Champai Soren has the numbers or not. But till now, it's the curious case of a very silent governor, where the governor has not invited Champai Soren to come and stake claim and form government. So lots of questions that are going on right now. I'm going to cut across back to Shreya and Anupam, but bringing in MP from the JMM, Mahua Maji, who's with us right now. Mahua Maji, मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे यही है, चंपाई सोरेन गए हैं सारे जो नाम हैं उनको लेकर, पर अभी भी ये नहीं उनको बोला गया है कि वो स्टेक क्लेम कर सकते हैं, कि वो गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म कर सकते हैं. आपको विश्वास है गवर्नर पर? अब
ने बिहार में दिखा कि कितनी जल्दी नए सरकार का गठन कर दिया गया था, और हमारे यहाँ जब तुरंत इस्तीफे के बाद होगा कि तमाम हमारे जो विधायकगण हैं उन्होंने अपना दावा ठोका और सभी लोग वहां पहुंचे, वो बस में करके बैठे रह गए, बाहर उन्हें बुलाया तक नहीं गया। 5 लोग मिलने गए, उनका समर्थन पत्र था, सब कुछ था, सिग्नेचर था 43 विधायकों का। इसके बावजूद इतनी देरी क्यों हुई, यही आश्चर्य की बात है। अभी बुलाया गया है तो निश्चित रूप से हमें विश्वास है कि संविधान का सम्मान करते हुए, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर का सम्मान करते हुए यहाँ पर नई सरकार का गठन अविलंब किया जाएगा।
महुआ जी, आप कह रही हैं कि बिहार में देखिए आपका नेबरिंग स्टेट, वहां पर क्या हुआ था और अभी तक आपको बुलाया नहीं गया। वहां पर तो घंटों में ही इनवाइट कर लिए गए थे नीतीश कुमार। बहुत तो ये भी कहेंगे, देखिए महाराष्ट्र में क्या हुआ था, सुबह 5 बजे ओथ ले ली गई थी। पर आपसे एक सवाल करूंगी महुआ जी, वो सवाल है क्या नंबर आपके पास है? भाजपा बार बार कहती है आपके पास 35 है, उसके ऊपर नहीं, और वो हाफवे मार्क से काफी कम है। और क्या आप अपने जो एमएलएज हैं उनको परेड कराएंगी अगर बात आए गवर्नर के सामने?
नहीं, ऐसी कोई बात है नहीं अभी फिलहाल, इसलिए कि हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि माननीय गवर्नर ने जब बुलाया है तो नई सरकार बनेगी और अभी बनेगी।
नहीं, मैं सवाल आपसे कर रही हूं कि जो भाजपा कह रही है कि आपके पास सिर्फ 35 एमएलएज हैं, तो आपकी जो 81 असेंबली सीट्स हैं उनमें से हाफवे मार्क तक आपके पास नहीं है। बहुत सारे इनकम्युनिकाडो हो गए हैं, उनसे आप इन टच पे नहीं है। पर ये जो वीडियो आपने जो अभी दिया है, उसमें क्या सारे 43 हैं? क्या इनके हस्ताक्षर ले लिए गए हैं? क्या ये सब दिखा दिया गया है जो झारखंड गवर्नर हैं, जो हाफवे मार्क से कम
गलत है, बिल्कुल गलत है। अभी फोटोग्राफी भी हुई है तमाम विधायकों की। 43 विधायक यहाँ उपस्थित है और सब लोगों ने फोटो भी खींचा है, सबके सिग्नेचर्स हैं और वो सबमिट भी किया गया है। ये भाजपा ये अफवाह उड़ा रही है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
तो आप कह रही हैं भाजपा मार्क से कम, तो आप कह रही हैं भाजपा ये अफवाह उड़ा रही है। तो फिर ये जो भाजपा आप कह रहे हैं ये अफवाह है, सारे एमएलएज आपके पास हैं, जो वीडियो अभी आपने बाहर दिया है और गवर्नर को भी दिखाया है, इसमें क्या जो 43 एमएलएज की आप बात कर रही हैं सबके हस्ताक्षर भी हैं साथ में?
पर मेरे सामने फोटोग्राफी हुई है और आंकड़ों से ज्यादा विधायक है हमारे पास।
क्या आपकी जो विधायक दल है कोई अटेम्प्ट हुआ है अभी उसको तोड़ने का? क्योंकि बार बार आप ये कह रही हैं कि ये बीजेपी कोशिश कर रही है, बीजेपी कोशिश कर रही है। अभी तक वक्त आपको दिया गया है मिलने का गवर्नर के साथ, पर गवर्नर ने स्टेक क्लेम के लिए नहीं बोला है, आपको नहीं बोला है कि आप गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करिए। कोशिश हो रही है क्या विधायक दल को तोड़ने की?
ऐसा तो नहीं लगता, क्योंकि सारे विधायक एकजुट है और सभी लोग यहाँ पर एक जगह पर उपस्थित हैं। और हालांकि भाजपा जब से हमारी सरकार का गठन हुआ है तब से प्रयास कर रही है बार बार कि किसी भी तरह से हमारे विधायक उनकी तरफ उनके पहले जाए, लेकिन यहाँ पर पूरी एकजुटता है। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन जी के साथ भी सभी लोग बहुत अच्छी तरह से काम किए, एकजुट होकर झारखंड के विकास में सबने साथ दिया। और इस बार भी हमारे होने वाले मुख्यमंत्री माननीय चंपई सोरेन जी के नेतृत्व में सभी लोग काम करेंगे साथ में, ऐसा सभी ने आश्वासन दिया है, भरोसा दिया है और एकजुटता दिखाई है।
महुआ जी, ये बात भी चलती हुई आ रही है कि जो 16 विधायक हैं कांग्रेस के, वो डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर की भी मांग कर रहे हैं और वही उनकी मेन डिमांड है आपके साथ रहने के लिए।
ये सब बातें इसके बाद प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बता दिया जाएगा कि आपस में क्या बातचीत हुई है। अभी हम लोगों के सामने सबसे बड़ा जो चैलेंज है वो सरकार के गठन का है और हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि हमारे माननीय गवर्नर संविधान का ध्यान रखेंगे और उसका आदर करेंगे और निश्चित रूप से अभी सरकार का गठन भी कर देंगे।
महुआ माझी जी, अभी वो नहीं हुआ है तो मतलब गवर्नर ने मिल लिया है चंपाई सोरेन से, उनसे मुलाकात कर ली है, पर उनको स्टेट क्लेम करने के लिए नहीं कहा गया है, गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करने के लिए नहीं कहा गया है। क्या अब जो विधायक दल है, जैसे पहले बात चल रही थी कि हैदराबाद मूव होगा, क्या आप अभी रांची छोड़कर जब तक गवर्नर नहीं डिसाइड करता आप हैदराबाद, आपका जो विधायक दल है वहां जाएगा?
कानून है देश में सुप्रीम कोर्ट है, न्यायालय की शरण में पार्टी जाएगी और निश्चित रूप से हमें न्याय मिलेगा, ऐसा विश्वास है। नहीं तो फिर लोकतंत्र ही खत्म हो जाएगा इस देश से, अगर इस तरह से संविधान का मजाक उड़ाया जाए तो।
महुआ माझी, Many thanks for joining us there. Mahua Maji saying that they still have faith in the governor to respect the constitution and the spirit of democracy and call them to stake claim and form government. I want to take you back to our reporters. Shreya and Anupam have been on ground getting you the very latest. A short while ago, 5:30 p.m., after 22 hours of silence, the governor had, Mr. Radhakrishnan, CP Radhakrishnan, had finally called Champai Soren along with representatives of the other partners in the coalition. It was a 5-member delegation that went to the governor, however came back empty-handed. Shreya, what was it that the governor told Champai Soren?
Preeti, it's important to mention to our viewers that this is not the first time that they have done that. Yesterday itself, all the 43 MLAs were very much present outside. They wanted to go inside as well. They were not allowed. Even then, a delegation went inside and they gave that letter to the governor suggesting that they have the support of 43 MLAs for Champai Soren. Now, even today, they're doing the same thing. So within a gap of 24 hours, we are seeing a repeat of the delegation trying to meet the governor twice, asking him to give time. Now, the governor, once again, like yesterday, has said that he will take time and respond. It's important to also probably point out that on 28th of January in the state of Bihar, we saw that an oath and a resignation happened within the same day. So it will be interesting to see how much more time does the governor of Jharkhand now take after the MLA's delegation visit him for the second time, and the video released by Champai Soren and the JMM sources who are still camping in the same circuit house where I'm standing right now.
Anupam, will now the band of MLAs be taken to a safer house, if one might say? The circuit house was converted into a safe house for these MLAs where that video was taken and the signatures of all 43 MLAs were counted for. Will now they be moved to a Hyderabad? What's the word that you're getting in? Or they're still waiting in Ranchi for the governor to decide and call them to form government?
Preeti, one thing has become very clear that the coalition need to wait. They have to wait for governor's call. And till that time, everyone knows that the delay in calling in invitation will increase a kind of depression, a kind of uneasiness that is not good for the coalition. And it's a big challenge for Champai Soren to maintain, to stay put together the flock. So they are trying to do it very fast, but it all depends on governor. Now it depends on Champai Soren how he is putting up this coalition together, whether he is putting up in Ranchi or whether he is trying to take them to another state, to Hyderabad, which we are hearing. So and the information is that there is a chartered plane waiting at Ranchi airport. So they may take them to other state, to Hyderabad.
Well, it all depends when the governor will decide. And right now, what we are getting an indication is that they're going to stay put at the circuit house, charting out the next course of action. I want to get in a constitutional point of view in all of this. Joining me is Mr. PDT Achari, former Secretary General of Lok Sabha and constitutional expert. Sir, appreciate you joining us. Can you throw some light with what is going on in the state of Jharkhand? Because despite Champai Soren, the man chosen to take place of Hemant Soren in Jharkhand, stating that he has the numbers, armed with video footage of all 43 members, which prove that he has a majority with him, yet he hasn't been invited by the governor. Is this unconstitutional, or is it, purely in the purview of being immoral, maybe?
Well, see, when a chief minister resigns, then the governor, while accepting the resignation, normally ask the chief minister to continue in office till an alternative arrangement is made. Now, this is a normal practice which is followed by all the governors whenever such things happen in a state, when a chief minister resigns.
Sir, you're on mute. Mr. Achari, yes, go ahead, sir, go ahead.
There are constitutional reasons for that. Because under Article 163 of the Constitution, there has to be a Council of Ministers in office all the time to advise the governor to carry on his exercise of the governor's function. The governor cannot exercise the executive functions of the state without being advised by the Council of Ministers. Therefore, it is actually necessary for a Council of Ministers to exist. That is why the governor asked the outgoing chief minister to remain in office till an alternative arrangement is made. Now here in this particular case, I do not know exactly what happened, but Mr. Soren has resigned, and the governor should have asked the chief minister to continue in office till another chief minister is sworn in. Whether that has taken place or not, I do not know. But that is the normal thing which the governor should do. And then after that, the governor should immediately either call the leader of the largest party, or that largest party can approach him immediately and stake a claim, and which the government.
Mr. Achari, we seem to have lost you. We've lost Mr. PDT Achari, constitutional expert. We're going to try. Okay, we've got him back. Mr. Achari, so, what you're stating is that the governor, ideally, as per what has been past precedents and protocol, should invite with the single largest party here who's at least said that...
Completed.
Go ahead, sir, complete.
The governor is satisfied about the claim being made by the leader of that party, then he can ask him to come a particular time and he will be sworn in as the chief minister. And after that, he can be asked to prove the majority in the House. Because after all, it is the House which has to decide whether a chief minister has majority or not. It is not to be decided by Raj Bhavan. This has been made clear by the Supreme Court and also many other authorities.
So, Mr. Achari, can I interpret with what you're saying, that parading the MLAs is not needed in front of the governor? It is on the floor of the assembly?
It is not at all needed. There is no question of parading the members of the assembly before the governor, because this needs to be tested on the floor of the House, and it is the House which will decide whether this chief minister has majority or not.
So, Mr. Achari, if the current situation is where you have a party which clearly seem to have the numbers on their side, yet are not being invited by the governor 22 hours or 24 hours now after the arrest of the chief minister who has already resigned, how can this be viewed? Is this unconstitutional, sir?
No, suppose the governor has not asked Mr. Soren to continue in office till alternative arrangement is made, then there is a serious problem. Because a governor cannot act independently. A governor cannot run the government without the advice of the Council of Ministers. That is why all the constitutional experts, all the constitutional authorities have said there has to be a Council of Ministers in office to aid and advise the governor. That is it. So even if the chief minister has resigned, he will be asked to continue in office.
But he hasn't been asked to continue in office, and he is not an interim chief minister, so...
No, if he has not been allowed to continue in office, that means there is a constitutional crisis. Because otherwise, the president's rule will have to be imposed. The point is that the governor cannot act on his own.
Okay.
Governor cannot run the government on his own. There has to be a Council of Ministers in office, or the president will take over the government and ask the governor to carry on the governance.
So,
either of these two things.
So, Mr. Achari, I'm going to end it there, and I will just encapsulate, because one confirmation that we do have is that Mr. Soren, who has resigned and is now arrested, has not been asked to be an interim caretaker chief minister. So, therefore, the government of Jharkhand is in constitutional crisis.
Yes.
Sir, appreciate you joining us. Sir, appreciate you joining us and clarifying that for us. Thank you, PDT Achari. They're making it very clear. So, viewers, we're going to change our top ban. Not just immoral, but also unconstitutional. The government there is no government, but the state of Jharkhand is in a constitutional crisis as per the top constitutional experts of the country. Because if there is no interim chief minister, or the chief minister that has stepped down has been given the responsibility to be a caretaker till a new chief minister is sworn in, which hasn't happened in the case of Mr. Hemant Soren. So there is no chief minister governing the state where the executive is concerned, where the state of Jharkhand is in question. Therefore, the state right now is in constitutional crisis, in deep trouble. What is it that is stopping the governor from making a decision? All right, viewers, let's take you now directly to the latest that is coming in from the state of Jharkhand, Ranchi. Champai Soren, who enjoys the confidence of the JMM coalition, says he has the numbers with a video which has 43 MLAs and a paper which has the signatures of 43 MLAs, which means that he's above the halfway mark of the 81 assembly seat in Jharkhand. He's been chosen to replace Hemant Soren after Hemant Soren has been arrested. But the curious case is, even after meeting the governor, finally after 24 hours of wanting to meet him and stake claim to form government, he still hasn't been told that he can move ahead and stake claim or form government. What is really going on in the state of Jharkhand, viewers? Because as per constitutional experts, the governor has plunged the state of Jharkhand into a constitutional crisis. Of what is going on in Jharkhand right now is nothing short of that, because there is no chief minister. There has to be a caretaker chief minister or an interim chief minister. Even if a CM resigns, the governor usually tells him to be the caretaker CM till a new chief minister is sworn in. That hasn't happened in the case of Hemant Soren. Therefore, arising a constitutional crisis in the state of Jharkhand, viewers. Let's cut across right now, because you have the coalition in Jharkhand of the JAM, the RJD and the Congress left, as well as 4 independents who are now saying the governor is biased. Taking that question to Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, former MP, Rajya Sabha, Dr. Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson, India National Conference, the Congress, and Dr. Tanuj Khatri, spokesperson, JMM. Syed Zafar Islam, as per all constitutional experts, please explain the silence of the governor, because constitutional experts feel that the governor now has plunged the state of Bihar into a constitutional crisis.
Well, Preeti, you have to understand that the governor has to depend the legal opinion he will draw from the legal experts is on the role of or on the which is with the governor. So I think one has to wait, because he is waiting for the legal opinion, and whatever is the legal opinion, because there are a lot of complications given the way Hemant Soren has resigned. He has resigned when he was in the custody of ED. So whether it should be, there should be a governor rule, because of the various constitutional constraint which we are facing at this point in time. So I think let the governor take a proper legal opinion.
But Dr. Islam, explain to our viewers, sir. I know it's a...
What is the hurry?
I understand. No, I'll tell you what's the hurry is, sir. What was the hurry in the state of Bihar? Within hours, the governor called in Nitish Kumar to stake claim and form government, and within 24 hours, there was a government in Bihar sworn in. I'll remind you a case of what happened in Maharashtra, where 5 a.m. in the morning, an oath was given, sir, by the virtue of the governor. Now, in this particular case, where the constitution is concerned, and I have gone through it, there is no need for any legal opinion at all that needs to be taken. If there are numbers, if there is confidence in Mr. Champai Soren, he has a video, sir. He has 43 MLAs on video. He has signatures of the 43 MLAs. He doesn't even need to parade them in front of the governor as per the constitution. That's the purpose of a floor assembly test. So questions now need to be asked. Why is the governor silent, sir?
Preeti, I think when you say that you have gone through it and you are giving an opinion here, I think you should restrain.
Sir, okay, do you
definitely lack the
Dr. Islam, do you trust PDT Acharya, one of the top constitutional experts of the country? Do you trust him?
No,
he himself has said this is a constitutional crisis.
I'm not commenting on anyone, or there may be many legal luminaries and they may have opinion. But all I'm saying that this is a very unique situation where the chief minister was already arrested when he resigned. He didn't go alone to tender his resignation. He went with the ED official. That only suggests that there is a different complexities here. Because once you are arrested, whether you can tender your resignation, there are some complications you must understand before opining.
That's the question. I'm trying to understand. No, Dr. Islam. Where it needs to be called out.
So
it needs to be called out. No, sir. I'll tell you why. What is the complication in
all
this?
I'm trying to tell you that so complication is that the biggest complication that he was arrested first before he extended his resignation. That creates a lot of complications. Whether the governor governor should invoke a Article 356 and there should be a governor rule there. Whether governor has the right to call another person who is taking claim.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Islama, we can hear you very well, so I'm going to come right back. I want to bring in Champai Mohammed into this conversation. Champai Mohammed, Mr. Islam, Dr. Islam says, Dr. Mohammed, that at this point of time, there are lots of legal loopholes that need to be plugged in by the governor, and one of them is what has been, there's no precedent of it. The fact that a sitting chief minister is arrested before his resignation, so the governor needs to contemplate and come up with the best decision.
You know, today we are very clear that there is undeclared emergency in this country. There is no democracy. Now you have a party along with its alliance partners showing the government the numbers. What sort of nonsense is Zafar Islam saying? The numbers are there. The governor should immediately swear in the CM, Champai Soren. But like you mentioned, Nitish Kumar and few others, it's very clear. See, look at the pattern. The pattern is ED goes after Rohit Pawar, questioning him, Tejasvi Yadav questioning him, Shibu Soren questioning him. It's only the opposition where they question. They do not question anybody else. Now, let me give you another example here of a person called Pratap Sarnaik, an MLA of the Shiv Sena United in 2022 March. He had 11 crores, the ED attached in a money laundering case, and along with it, 2 flats. And the case was in the National Spot Exchange Limited. By September, the Economic Offence Wing closed that case. Reason being, Pratap Sarnaik joined the Eknath Shinde faction of Shiv Sena. Now, this is what I call, it's a one side. If you're going after corrupt members of parliament, corrupt chief ministers, corrupt anybody, please go after everyone. But let me finish. Another very important is Ajit Pawar. Ajit Pawar has always been called corrupt, not by the Congress party, but by Devendra Fadnavis, Kirit Somaya, and the Prime Minister of India. As soon as he joined, the ED closed the case. I mean, there is quite, it's all quiet and there's no investigation. And the other one is Narayan Rane. Narayan Rane was hounded by Kirit Somaya. In fact, he wrote a letter at that point of time to Joint Director Satyabrata Kumar saying that, there is this huge diversion of money from a tax haven to something called One Agvigina Park, a residential complex being built. He wrote a letter giving evidence. Now, my question, even then, Rane also was called corrupt, not by us, but by Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, why is the ED not questioning this? Look at the pattern. The pattern is it is using the ED now to go after opposition, all the India alliance, arrest them so that there is no alliance partners and they can go to election. It's open. And what happened in Chandigarh? I mean, it's shameless. What happened, how the mayor election happened, it's an open cheating right now. So my question is also very important today is that all these agencies, basically all CBI, all the investigative agencies, they're all sitting in a bubble because what has happened is a case is put in court. There is a false investigation and no conviction. So they have lost their credibility completely. And one last point I want to say today is, like every mature democracy in the world, whether it's United States, UK, there is an oversight committee over investigative agencies. In the United States, there'll be a Senate committee. In the UK, another committee, and they question these investigative agencies. Say, listen, you went to Shibu Soren. Why did you arrest him? Why didn't you go after Narayan Rane? Two questions. So we can make a group of member of parliaments here.
Okay, I want to bring in.
Why is that happening here?
Okay, I want to come back and shift the focus back to the state of Jharkhand because right now Jharkhand is in crisis, viewers. There is no chief minister. It's in constitutional crisis. And Dr. Tanuj Khatri, spokesperson JMM, is with us. So what's the plan of the Vidhayak Dal का क्या अभी प्रतिक्रिया है खत्री साहब? क्या विधायक दल रांची में ही ठहरेगा, गवर्नर के इंतजार करेगा कि आगे क्या डिसीजन ले, या विधायक दल को हैदराबाद शिफ्ट किया जाएगा, जो चर्चा हो रही है?
देखिए, जिस तरीके से पिछले कल जो हुआ, एक चुने हुए मुख्यमंत्री को लगातार काम करने वाले मुख्यमंत्री को किस प्रकार से साजिश करके झूठे आरोपों को लगा करके जेल भेजने का काम किया, और उनका मुस्कुराता हुआ चेहरा आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी को की सरदर्द को और बढ़ाने का काम कर रहा है झारखंड के अंदर में और देश के अंदर में। आप समझिए किस तरीके से पड़ोसी राज्य में जो पिछले दिनों राजनीतिक घटनाक्रम हुआ, चट मंगनी पट ब्याह के तर्ज पर चट इस्तीफा और चट शपथ, पट शपथ, लेकिन आज 24 घंटे हो जाएंगे कुछ ही देर में। मुख्यमंत्री ने खुद जाकर के इस्तीफा देने का काम किया,
जी
खुद जाकर के इस्तीफा देने का काम
खत्री
किया।
साहब ये बताइए, अब विधायक दल रांची रहेगा या हैदराबाद जा रहा है?
झारखंड में है लोग
जी,
47 से ज्यादा विधायक हमारे ऑलरेडी पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार है, तब आपको पेट में दर्द क्यों हो रहा है? सवाल उठ रहा है, सवाल झारखंड की जनता कर रही है कि किस पर्दे के पीछे से क्या कर रहे हैं आप लोग। आपने एक इनोसेंट मुख्यमंत्री को जेल भेजने का काम किया और वो हंसते हंसते
खत्री साहब, मैं एक बार जो भाजपा के प्रवक्ता है, मैं भाजपा के जो स्पोक्स पर्सन, एक बार उनके पास जाऊंगी। Said Zafar Islam, the question is right now, one might say that the legal opinion is being taken, sir. But on the sidelines of it, look at what the likes of Nishikant Dubey, your Jharkhand leader, is saying, constantly suggesting that there is a split where the MLAs of the JMM coalition are concerned, that there are only 35. The JMM is alleging that the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying desperately to break the MLA group. On the other hand, the governor in all of this, then the role of the governor comes into question because the silence is damning for the JMM. The more time that possibly your party gets to break them is the charge.
It's a very unfair statement and allegation you are making, Preeti, because it is the role of the governor. He is sitting on a constitutional position and it is the responsibility as a governor to examine all the pros and cons of a decision he is taking. Legally, it should be tenable. You are comparing this situation with the situation in Bihar and elsewhere. Was Mr. Nitish Kumar arrested when he tendered his resignation? No, he was not in the custody. You must understand that is a differentiating factor. You must understand that. And Mr. Tarun, whatever name is there, the JMM spokesperson, he is claiming that he was smiling. अरे भाई हंसी के पीछे क्या गम छुपा रहे हो? आपने कितना गबन किया ये तो पता है, इस देश को बताइए ना कि what are the crime he has done. He has plundered the state's wealth, and more importantly, people must know that this is only one case against him. There are several cases against him. Of every case, he has plundered so much money.
Dr. Islam, fair enough, that is up to the ED to investigate, and if there is a case against Mr. Soren, that's for ED to find out. Let's once again focus back. So let's again circle back to Jharkhand politics, and I'm going to bring in Shama Mohammed, but I'll ask you a question, Dr. Islam. And that question stems from the fact you're saying that this is the first time, it's unprecedented, that a sitting chief minister has been arrested, therefore legal opinion needs to be taken. So, we've actually sat down and spoken to constitutional experts and taken legal opinion on what is the best way forward for the governor. Everyone has only one thing unanimous to say. Either Hemant Soren, even though he was arrested, should have been asked to be a caretaker chief minister, which he wasn't asked by the governor. And secondly, Mr. Champai Soren should have been called, and then it was up to a floor test to prove majority. So what's really happening today, Dr. Islam, is not just unconstitutional but immoral.
No, there's a very strong statement you're making without understanding the subject. You are referring to some constitutional expert. I don't know whether the experts have opining on this issue without realizing the fact that it is a very complex issue. It is very different from the issues in the past you are referring to. The fact that this is one of those kind of case where the chief minister was already arrested and then he went with the ED officials to tender his resignation. This complicates the issue. Whether the new government should be in place, whether all these things, let the governor examine it, get it examined, whatever be the legal opinion which is correct and legally tenable is something which the governor will take a call.
All right, okay, Shama Mohammed, the fact is, to flip the question around, okay, the governor needs to take in legal opinion because this is an unprecedented case. Allow him the time. Why is the JMM coalition, of which you have 16 MLAs, scared that you will break? Stick together. You have the majority. It will happen sooner than later.
We are not scared, but there is money pan, muscle pan threatening. They're just threatening to put, here he says, oh, there is a lot of corruption. Now, ED has investigated around 5,500 cases. What is the conviction rate? 23%. That's even less than 23 people. So that's less than 1%. So what is he talking about? This is just making a bubble out of it. And I'm telling you, this is unprecedented. In the history of India, first of all, you've not arrested a chief minister. And the chief minister, being what he is, has also tendered his resignation. I can understand he was arrested and said, I will not resign. And you take him in, then the governor has to think what will happen because the chief minister has been arrested. He has not resigned. Yes, he needs to think. Here the chief minister clearly goes to the governor, resigns, says who will be taking over, shows the number, everything. This is nothing but to break the government in Jharkhand, and they want to form the government using undemocratic means. That is what is happening. See, here, if you look at it, what has happened in India, never before, the Election Commission has always been a very independent body. Now, I want to ask him, if they want to keep these independence, why did they bring about a bill where they moved out the Chief Justice and put a cabinet minister? So the Prime Minister and the cabinet minister have 2 votes, and the 1 vote is the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. So 2:1 means you put your Election Commission there. So these are things which are undemocratic. Okay. So you bring in bills like this, it's very clear. Let me tell you, if this election, the coming election, for example, the Bharatiya Janata Party wins, then it is a fraud on this nation because they're cheating out all the way, doing all sorts of things. I have never seen anything like this in the history of India, where in undemocratic ways they are openly doing it. I mean, what we saw in Chandigarh, it is revealed openly the way the presiding officer is putting a tick. So it's unbelievable, and we will not be quiet. We will form the government in Jharkhand. The government is there, and we want the governor to immediately see to it that Champai Soren is sworn in immediately. That's what has to happen.
Champai Soren. All right, Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, you wanted to come back. Please go ahead, and then I'll cut across to our reporters on ground.
I think Dr. Shama Mohammed, when she refers to the history of India, she must know during Congress regime, how many times Article 356 have been
we are not talking about that.
Allow him. Can I just get Dr.
Please do not interrupt. I heard you.
Please allow.
You have
got the same privilege.
Please,
only Doctor. Can I just get Dr. Islam? Go ahead, sir.
She has no discipline. All I'm trying to tell you that when she has to dig history, she must know her own party's history. How many times they have invoked Article 356, and how many times they have actually made changed the government. So they made Chief Minister to resign even when he's in the aircraft. So these are the tactics they have used. They have actually responsible for many governments to fall in the past by using articles, invoking Article 356.
But Dr. Islam,
so
it's not so much of our unconstitutional means are lesser than your unconstitutional means. Ultimately, what is taking place right now in the state of Jharkhand, sir, is unconstitutional as per most experts. But we're going to leave it at that. You say there has been no precedence of it, so the governor is taking legal opinion.
That undeclared emergency. That's what is happening.
All right, that's what the opposition alleges. We're going to leave it at that. I appreciate both of you taking the time and joining us. I'd like to cut across right now back to Ranchi, where my colleague Shreya is joining us. Shreya, movement right now being seen at the circuit house, which was used as a safe house for the MLAs. Where are they headed?
Preeti, as has been reported by India Today since morning, we are seeing the MLAs now being huddled up and taking to Hyderabad. We do know a charter is waiting right now at the Ranchi airport. The earlier scheduled time was that of 4 p.m. for the charter to take off. But because the governor gave a time to meet, they wanted to take one last chance. But since there was no clarity given from the governor's end, now all the MLAs, which is 43 minus 5, because 5 the MLAs are going to stay back. Remaining 38 is the number that we are given to understand are heading to Hyderabad, where all preparations have been made to ensure no possible horse trading to take place. So what you're seeing right now on your visuals is a bus that is directly making way to the Ranchi airport, which will therefore take the MLAs to the charter, which will actually fly to Begumpet airport in Hyderabad.
Right, so this is what was expected, and that's what's happened. Earlier on, there was an indication that the group of MLAs, the JMM-led coalition, 49 is the number, 43 are they together right now, would stay put in Ranchi waiting for the decision by the governor, especially after Mr. Champai Soren was called in. But right now, because the governor has said that there is no decision, all the MLAs being moved to that charter which has been parked at the Ranchi airport, and this charter will take them now to Hyderabad. The Jharkhand crisis, viewers, has now intensified. The stage set for resort politics clearly is what you see. But the bigger question right now, which needs to be asked, is why is the governor not inviting a party which clearly at least seems to have majority to come and stake claim? As per constitutional experts, this has plunged the state of Jharkhand into a constitutional crisis, making the workings of the governor possibly not just unconstitutional as per experts, but immoral to what the opposition is alleging. But these visuals that we get for you come in from the Circuit House Ranchi, buses, vehicles leaving for the airport in Ranchi, where a charter is parked which will ferry them to Hyderabad, Telangana, a state that has been won by the Congress. Because mind you, viewers, the JMM coalition has 16 Congress MLAs as well, along with 29 from the JMM, 1 each of the RJD, MCP and Left, and 4 independents. All right. With that, the stage is set for resort politics to begin. But on the other side, we're going to continue to ask tough questions. Why is the governor silent, and why hasn't he invited the JMM MLAs to stake claim, which is what most constitutional experts say protocol?